Hello, and thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Tales from the Field. Today we're going to be talking about grassland animals. The grasslands are famous for the majestic animals that inhabit them, and today we'll be talking about the two different types of grasslands and the animals that inhabit them. Then we'll talk about some of the different ways that you can get involved with them. I've also included some links to day in the life type videos of professionals working with different types of grassland animals in the description box below. So make sure you check them out to learn more about working with grassland animals. Also, make sure to stay tuned for today's video's secret code. As with each video in our Tales from the Field series, you can earn points for our 2021 Tales and Tales summer reading program. To learn more about our summer reading program, check out the link in the description box below. So with grasslands, they can be characterized with large open areas of grass. And you can see trees there every now and then, but they're going to be pretty infrequent. This is because the grasslands receive low rainfall, so it's enough to sustain the numerous grasses that grow there, but not enough rainfall for trees. And that low rainfall helps to maintain the grasslands because, again, you can't have grasslands without grass. Some other things that help to maintain the grasslands are regular wildfires and grazing by the many animals that graze on the grasses. Some factors that impact grasslands more negatively are agriculture, as humans like to use the soil and the big open spaces for agriculture. So there's been some land lost due to that. And there's also hunting. So illegal poaching causes the loss of those large grazing animals that help to maintain the grass. So without those big grazing animals that are, when they're hunted, the grasslands kind of go unchecked and they can actually turn into forests without them. So there are two different types of grasslands. The first is the savanna grasslands. These are probably what most people think of when they think of the grasslands. These are going to be found in Africa primarily, but also in South America, Asia, and Australia. These are going to have a warm climate with a rainy season and a dry season. So most of the precipitation is going to fall during just a couple of months out of the year. And then this will lead to a super long dry season, which again, as I said, is why there's only grass and very minimal trees in the grasslands. This dry season is also what leads to wildfires. Some animals you might find in the grassland, savanna grassland, are elephants, giraffes, zebras, rhinos, lions, leopards, cheetahs, baboons, crocodiles, antelopes, meerkats, kangaroos, and ostriches, just to name a few. Now, the second type of grassland is the temperate grassland. So these are going to be very similar to our savanna grassland, but is going to be found in places such as North America and Eastern Europe. The soil is going to be different in the temperate grassland. It's going to be more rich, that yields a more abundant growth of grasses. But as you can see, it covers the Midwest section of the United States and North America. Temperate grassland animals are going to be kind of similar to the savanna grassland animals. You'll see some similar animals like bison, gazelles, zebras, and rhinos, but you'll also see other animals like wild horses, wolves and coyotes and deer. You'll find prairie dogs, jackrabbits, skunks, and badgers as well. Now, when you're looking to work with wildlife, you might see a lot of resources that say you need a science-heavy background. And while this is true if you're interested in studying medicine or the biology or chemistry of a specific species. There is so much more to working with animals than just being good at biology and chemistry. So don't forget there's also social aspects to study as well. And there's administrative, technical, outreach, and education roles to fill as well. Some good places to look for job postings. And while you might not be ready to apply just yet, you can always bookmark them to get a better idea of what sort of education or experience you need for that type of job. You can look at local, state, or federal government positions in agriculture, animal control, environmental science, or within the parks departments. Colleges and universities are also great resources. Within the field of veterinary medicine, there are a variety of different avenues you can take. You can work with domestic animals, exotic animals, wildlife, or livestock animals. There's also nonprofit organizations that are dedicated to the rescue, rehabilitation, and advocacy of wild animals. There are also private businesses that specialize in wildlife removal or wildlife education. There's also private businesses that specialize in husbandry of specific animals. There's also research opportunities if you're interested in working in academics or getting a sponsoring agency so that you can study a species of animals. There's also rehabilitation avenues where there are rescues dedicated to caring for and then releasing injured animals. There's also avenues within education. If you really enjoy working with people and teaching, there's formal and informal settings. You can work in a classroom or out in the field, working with other experts or just teaching curious families about the animals. You can also get involved with conservation. There's a lot of organizations that are dedicated to caring for animals who would be vulnerable if left in the wild to their own devices. If you want to learn more about working with different types of grassland animals, I've included some links in the description box below that shows more about them. Today's video includes a wildlife photographer, a keeper at a big cat sanctuary, as well as an interview with a safari guide. So check out those videos for more information about working with grassland animals. Today's secret code for our summer reading program is Grassland Tales. So make sure you log that in book points so you can get points and badges for participating in our summer reading program. Thank you guys so much for joining me for today's video, and I hope to see you next week where we will be talking about aquatic animals.